The X Zone Radio Show is heard on radio broadcast affiliates worldwide, including
AM 580 CFRA in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada.
WPUL AM 1590 in Daytona Beach, Florida.
KOHI AM 1610 in St. Helens, Oregon.
KHRO AM 1150 in El Paso, Texas. And for more information on becoming a professional broadcast affiliate of the X Zone Radio Show, visit
www.xzbn.net
or call toll-free worldwide
1-800-610-7035.
The X Zone radio and TV show is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X Zone radio and TV show or in any manner endorsed by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, Talkstar Radio Network, its affiliated stations, or employees.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
one 1-800-610-7035, worldwide toll-free. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, on MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com, and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. My guest this hour, X Zone Nation, is Lynn Manning Ross. We're going to be talking about helping companies become success stories. Lynn has helped nearly 800 small businesses globally achieve success through the creation of highly competitive business models, new media integration, print and creation of ebook publishing. In the early 1980s, she established a management consulting practice in Los Angeles, lived abroad in the early 1990s, and founded Smart Site in 1994. She has also provided management training to private companies, investment banks, and conducted business clinics based on her books and other writings at UCLA in California, California State University, the Supercomputer World Trade Centers in San Diego, the International Management School in Warsaw University, Russian State University, Moscow, and professional membership organizations and book signings shown in the information that she sent us. And her website is full of information at www.smartsite.com. Joining me now from beautiful California, where she wants to actually come up to Canada and freeze. Why? Gosh only knows. Joining me now is Lynn Manning Ross. And Lynn, welcome to the X Zone.
Hey, thanks, Rob. It's really nice to be here. I'm looking at a sunny tree. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Let's see. It's 81 degrees outside under sunny skies in Hamilton, Ontario right now. And, if you want to talk to me off air about coming up here and freezing during the wintertime, we'll do that.
Okay. Okay.
Tell me, Lynn, in today's business world, it must be highly competitive now with everybody having access to the information highway and global marketing potential.
Well, yes, that's absolutely true, and it's why and in fact, it was just released. It's a printed book that uses mobile barcodes to link readers to the web, and it's the first book in the United States. I don't know about the world, but it's the very first book to include barcodes inside of it to give people more than what I could ever write about. so it's kind of exciting. It's called a SMART plan because it really is smart. If you can just imagine for a moment that you're holding a book in one hand and you come to some information and maybe it isn't very clear to you, and there is a funny-looking little code there. They're very different than the regular barcodes that we're used to. And you can take your smartphone that's web-enabled and has a camera and loaded with an app, which they're free, and most all of them are, and you can take it and you focus it on the barcode, and instantly you turn your mobile phone over and you can see a video, or you can see a webinar, or you can download a white paper or listen to an audio. That makes print competitive today.
All right, stand by, Lynn. You and I have to take our 2-minute commercial break. Lynn Manning Ross is our special guest, X-Zone Nation. www.smartsite.com. We'll be back on the other side of this 2-minute commercial break as the X-Zone continues from our studios here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Rob McConnell, X-Zone Nation. Don't go away. Lynn Manning Ross is our special guest this hour, www.smartsite.com. And Lynn, what kind of thinking went into the decision to include ink and link in your book?
Well, as I was developing the SMART plan, I naturally was going to include the barcodes because that's what inspired me to write SMART plan to begin with. And I thought, well, I wonder what I can call it. And all of a sudden it just came to me in a flash. Ink and link. Ink for the idiom for print, and link is just that, link, because that's exactly what it is.
Now, how does this compare to other mobile barcode initiatives?
Well, a quick analysis would be we're all used to the barcodes that we use at the checkout stand, and those are just one-dimensional barcodes, and they only hold about, I think it's 7 or 8 bits, a very small amount of information. Whereas these QR codes are two-dimensional, and they've been around for a long, long time, and they can hold over 7,000 bits of information. So you can just see instantly versus 7,000, they become pretty dynamic.
So how do you think QR codes will change the value of a printed book?
Oh, completely and absolutely. And I know that probably... well, let me just back up and say that they were created in 1994 by a global conglomerate, Denso Wave in Japan. And they've been used for advertising since then, and they're extremely popular all over Asia. But they haven't been used in the United States, which probably means Canada, too, and other parts of the world, although I'm not really sure what other parts of the world. I'm not familiar with them. But they're little square codes, and they're funny-looking little things, and they're designed in such a way that when your cell phone picks up on them, it takes you directly to wherever it is that you're pointing your camera. And I think that probably... although I can't be sure about the world, but I'm certainly sure about the United States because I did a lot of research, that the Smart Plan with these barcodes is the very first book that ever came in the market to include them. And being that I've been in publishing for a while, I realized that maybe the reason publishers have not used these is because they think, oh, well, I put in a barcode of somebody and they go look at the webinar, and the company goes out of business, and all of a sudden my readership goes, what? There's no page here. Well, we circumvented that, which will appear in probably the next books, in that we can redirect those codes to any kind of a flexible, maybe, well, let's say that we connect into your show, and we set up a barcode, and you have focused on some form of an audio that you want to get across during the next 5 or 6 months, and it's posted in a book. And let's say all of a sudden that you really don't want to do that. You want to do something else. Well, all you have to do is to let us know, and we can redirect that through a database to connect to your new information. So what's really printed in the book might be considered a redirect code, although it still is a QR code.
All right, I'm having a bit of trouble understanding the significance of this, to be very honest with you. Why would a company want to use this? Why would a publisher want to use this instead of traditional means of publishing, printing?
Well, first of all, if I were to write out everything that a reader wants to know in the Smart Plan, it would take me, I don't know, maybe 2,000 pages because there's so much going on. And let's take history. Let's say that somebody is reading a history book about, say, the Civil War. Well, it's also complicated, and there are lots of tales to tell and lots of different kinds of information. If it's a novel, that's one thing. If it's a textbook, that becomes quite another. And what you know about business or what you know about radio is certainly different than what I know about business and what I know about radio. So I can fill in, by putting the QR code in this printed book, I can fill in the information that I'm lacking very quickly, simply by just looking at a video or downloading a webinar, that's 10 or 15 minutes. One example, I am financials, I'm not an accountant. I don't know how to put them together. And one of the codes in the book happens to be called Easy Numbers. It's one of my favorites. And it's absolutely wonderful because right from the printed page, I can write one paragraph of what you need to include in your financials, and the reader can click the code, and they can go right to a 15-minute webinar, or a video that shows them exactly what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to do it. It's so clear and so good and so valuable to people. Now, if I were to write that all in the book, it would take me 15 or so 20 pages. It would be a whole chapter.
So this just sounds like another internet.
Well, in a way, it is, because all of these codes are on the Internet. Another one of the codes in the books is called Core Metrics. And what this does is really exciting. Instead of having to laboriously go through a tremendous learning curve of, well, what is search engine marketing? What is this? And there's 15 or 20 different things that you can do, your blog and your social media. It goes on and on and on, and these are textbooks almost within themselves. What Core Metrics did, and I think that the readers would really like, is that they point, they click, and all of a sudden it pulls up 11 or 12 different little windows, as if you're standing behind the magic window, and it passes through this video that's right on screen, and a person says, wow, I don't know about social media. And so they do point, click, and there it is. You learn about social media. Well, maybe the next person doesn't know about search engine marketing, never even heard of it, and they click on that window.
All right, so who's deciding? Who's deciding on who gets to see what? Who's the programming behind this? Where's this database, and where does the information that that the people use or get from these barcodes or these codes come from?
Well, you're talking to her. In the process of creating this and including the codes in the book, and then picking out the companies, selecting the companies with several months' worth of research to find just exactly the right companies that would be valuable to the readers of this particular smart plan. In the meantime, we applied for a patent, and it is pending, and the database will be there. So if another publisher, I would like to release the software when it's finally done over the next year, I would like very much to release it to the publishers for nothing, publishers around the world, because I think that it allows print to become interactive. And there are some people that will probably never even be interested in print. They don't even go into a library. But there are lots of people that don't like to read ebooks, although those are certainly valuable too. But they want their book. But they do have smartphones. There are billions of smartphones that are in use right now.
I understand that. So basically, what a person sees when they go to this specific code is what you want them to see.
Right. They also can do anything, but at least it would enlighten them as to what search engine marketing is.
But why can't they do that? Why can't they do that on the internet? Why would they have to depend on another media that is being scrutinized by one person at this point?
Well, you've made a very good point, except for one thing. This is a book about putting together a smart plan. And a smart plan is about business planning and business modeling, and how to put that together to make it work for what that person wants. So a reader would go in, and I know from teaching these classes on putting together business planning for maybe 30 years now, I've been doing it, that not everybody's going to be on the same page. They're all going to be on different pages of the learning curve when they come to reading a book like this. So what I attempted to do, and what I would encourage anybody that wants to use the software in the future to do, is they're going to have to research what is important and related to their particular genre that they're writing about, so that the person can access that information and learn more than what an author could ever write about. If they want to go beyond that, well, they certainly can, but at least they've got the basics to know how to do it.
But doesn't the internet and other media out there already provide a parallel service to this?
Well, this is on the internet. All of it is on the internet.
So you were saying I had to use my smartphone. What if I don't want to use a smartphone? What happens if I have no use for a smartphone?
Well, there is a link that is printed into the book. I printed the links in there, had them printed in there. So I'll use SmartSite as an example. There's a barcode for SmartSite.
Gotcha.
And then there's also www.smartsite.com if they happen to go to a library because they don't even have a computer.
All right, stand by. You and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. My name is Rob McConnell, and this is the X Zone. 1-800-610-7035. My email address is xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. Don't forget, you can listen to the X Zone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year, simply by going to www.xzonetv.com. I'll be back after the news. Don't go away. You're listening to the X Zone Radio Show, live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio,
Euro High Definition Radio,
and Star Cable. Our toll-free telephone number worldwide is 1-800-610-7035.
Our email address, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com.
On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com,
And our website,
www.xzoneradiotv.com.
Looking in your eyes, I see a paradise. This world that I found is too good to be true. Standing here beside you, want so much to give you this love in my heart that I'm feeling for you.
Let them say we're crazy. I don't care about that. Put your hand in my hand, baby. Don't ever look back. Let the world around us just fall apart.
Lynn Manning Ross is our guest this hour, Exonation. www.smartsite.com. All right, Lynn, so let me see if I understand it. The books have this barcode or this QR code that when the person takes their smartphone, aims it at the QR code, it then brings them to a database, and the information that they're reading about is accessible to them through your database on their smartphone.
Well, there's one part of it that is a different, call it back office. Database is a back office. They go directly to the Internet. For example, I was talking about easy numbers and core metrics earlier that are in the book. These demonstrations are on those companies' websites. And so when they click the code, it goes directly to them. If the company is going to leave it that way, for example, if Cormetics doesn't intend to change it, and they probably won't because it's very expensive to put together, they might change the content behind those doors, but they're not going to change what the reader sees when they first go on the website. But let's say that they decided that they wanted to change it. They can opt to have us use a barcode that is a redirect. And what that means is that part of it would go into a database, and we would redirect it to core metrics so that the reader would get the new web page right from their website.
So would you say that Smart Site is or Ink and Link is a new sort of search engine?
Yeah, it is in a way. I'd never thought of it like that, but that's probably a very good point. It certainly could be. Because
basically all you're doing now, please correct me if I'm wrong, is using a code, a QR code, I believe it is, to take the image, put it to your database, which directs that barcode to a specific website link. Am I correct?
Well, it could be. The redirect is up to the company where the display would be. If you, Rob, had 3 or 4 or 5 different videos on your website, and let's say that somebody is writing about how to be a radio host, or writing a book about how to be a radio host. All of those different barcodes, as is, could be printed right inside of that book, so that your readers, when they went to wherever they bought their book, could take their smartphone and they could read it. But let's just say that 3 or 4 of those you want to change around, from time to time. You don't want the information to be stale. So you say to me, well, instead of just using the regular barcodes that direct the user to 3 or 4 of these sites that we've got, let's redirect them because I'm going to change this information every couple of months. Well, that's the software that, I want to work on, that it will be able to have a database so that it can redirect whatever it is that you decide you want to do. So the reader reading your book will never know the difference.
All right, but what's the difference? But what's the difference in what we're doing right now here? For example, we have, let's just use one of our sites, xzoneyoutube.com. We have several YouTube features up there that are throughout the internet on the different search engines using SEO management.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to go through anybody else to change, redirect, or do anything I need to get done. I can do it myself in a matter of minutes. So how would your system be an improvement over the existing system that a company like Relmar McConnell Media is already using?
Because it's in a printed book. It enhances and directs readers of your book on being a radio host. It is in a printed book in that genre, and whatever reader out there in the world wants to learn a little bit more about how to do what you do could, with inside of that book, not only read through 1 or 2, 3, 4 paragraphs, but if they didn't really quite understand it and wanted some more information, they simply take their cell phone, or if they're at the library, they can type in a regular URL. But let's say they take their cell phone, their smartphone, and they go point, click, and all of a sudden link. There you are.
All right.
You're learning absolutely more about what you're doing. It expands the knowledge.
Okay, but right now, we have publications that can be downloaded into more than 16 portable devices electronically, that the person, all they do, if they want to learn a specific, let's say, on how to be a radio host, all they have to do is click the link. So how is your system different?
Well, they have to know that you're there, first of all. We have to go back to the very first step of buying. Somebody walks into a bookstore and buys the book.
But why do they have to? Why do they need to go to the bookstore anymore?
Well, because there are lots of people that don't like ebooks. There are lots of people that don't use the internet around the world. There are lots of people.
If they don't like ebooks, if they don't like using the internet, why would they buy a book where they have to eventually go onto the internet to find out what they want to know anyway? That makes no sense to me.
Well, it does to me.
Well, of course, you're making money on it. Of course it makes sense to you.
It makes sense because I don't think that print is going to go away anytime soon.
I agree.
Certainly not in my lifetime. So what it does is it makes print, if you prefer a printed book, it allows a printed book to become interactive. If the person doesn't want to use the codes, they're not compelled to do it because the author has covered nearly everything that a person really needs to know within a book. But if they want to learn more, there's an option there for them to do it. And they can do it in a very interactive way by accessing a webinar, or they can access a video. There are lots of videos, or a training, or download a white paper, or hear a podcast. There are just many options for them.
But the way I see it, you're just trying to reinvent the wheel that's already there.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think you grasp. Maybe when you get the book and you see, you may not agree with it. You may never agree with it, Rob.
I'm just having a hard time trying to understand what is so unique and what is so different about what you're trying to tell me, because I know as a fact, as a publisher, and I've been publishing since 1993, that, for example, our newspaper, we put it up on Scribd. You can download it, you can print it, you can download it as a PDF, you can download it into one of 16 portable devices.
Well, if the information is also in a printed book, along with codes for the people to link and/or the URL so they can type it in, a computer, it gives you another channel of distribution, and it gives you a way to reach people that may not know about you.
But if anybody goes into any of the search engines on the internet, they can find whatever they want. What I'm trying to see, I'm trying to understand how this will make my life easier. I'm
sorry, you're breaking up on me. What did you say?
I'm trying to see how Smart Site or these barcodes would make my life easier, and I can't understand the concept.
Well, they have been used all over Asia for just eons, mostly for advertising. So a printed magazine might have down in the corner a barcode, so that if the person reading that particular ad wants to learn more about whatever that ad is all about, they can click, and they can go find out more of whatever it is that they want to know. They also, some of these barcodes, ironically, are also printed because, remember, they've been around since 1994, so they're all over Asia. They're also on cemetery stones, on headstones. They actually have barcodes embedded in some of the headstones, so that the person going to the cemetery can point, click, and learn everything they want to about that particular person's life. And that information is on a website somewhere by some relative.
So basically, as I see it, this is a new search engine, because I really can't see what else it is. Now, who controls the content within the database, and do companies have to pay you a certain fee to have their information on your database?
No, not at all. All the companies that you see there, they were selected by me, and I didn't take any payment. It was doing them a favor that they were selected, actually.
So what was the criteria for you to select certain companies?
Well, because I wanted to write that's how to develop a smart plan for your business, which is all about business planning and business modeling, and showing people how they can develop that, and to provide the user that's going to read the book and use the book access to all of the different information that's out there now. Easy Numbers is one of them, financials. It goes on and on, from social media to business modeling.
All right, but when it comes to preparing filing papers for, let's say, your corporate filings, your state filings, your federal filings, how do you account for the difference in the different countries that may have access to your book? For example, the criteria for corporate filings in Canada is totally different from the criteria of corporate filings in the United States, and I'm sure there'd be a great difference from the United States to the United Kingdom. So how do you compensate for this international aspect?
You're absolutely right, and those are books unto themselves, and you usually need an attorney to do that sort of thing for you, but that's not what this book is about. In fact, there are lots of business plan writing and business modeling books out there, and if anybody that is into the field of being able to prepare something as a plan that you use to manage your company and or get money from a VC, whatever you're going to end up getting your money, there are so many aspects of it that it would probably take up 3 or 4 rows of books at a library just to write every single solitary thing. So you end up having to go to different experts that can fill in the blanks for what it is you don't know within your business. And, this is just one aspect of it. And I don't try to tell people, in fact, right in the very front of this, I don't try to tell people how to write the book. I try to show them the information that they need to gather in order to put themselves in a strong position. But this is just one genre,
Right.
one book.
Oh, what other kind of books are you planning to come out with in the future?
Actually, I'm not really too sure. I've been writing about business for such a long time. I'll probably stick to that particular subject. But when the software is complete, and it's just now in the very, very beginning stages, I think that it would, whatever authors or whatever publishers want to use it for. I have no idea what that would possibly be.
Are you going to make this software available to authors who want to self-publish?
Oh, I think it should be, yes. Because it's a very viable market. I'm familiar with that market through the ebooks, because SmartSite also, although we're not doing too much of it anymore, but we were originally one of the 15 companies around the world that was chosen by MobiPocket, that you may or may not know. They do mobile ebooks, and they were purchased by Amazon several years ago. And you have to convert book. PDF file, for example, can't be read on a cell phone or a smartphone or the MobiPocket phones. So you have to convert those. And
Lynn, you and I have to say so long for today, but I do want to thank you ever so much for joining us. Exonation, Lynn Manning Ross has been my guest this hour, talking about a smart plan, a smart site, www.smartsite.com. My name is Rob McConnell. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away. Welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell. Unfortunately, we were having a bad connection with our guest last hour, or this hour, Lynn Manning Ross. Her website is www.smartsite.com. And I don't know about you, X Zone Nation, but I just don't understand the uniqueness of this product. And I tried everything I could to try and get her to explain it to me, and basically all I understand is that you buy a book, there are these specific, like they look like square, multi-dimensional codes, barcodes of some sort. You take your smartphone, you click it, you take the picture, and it goes to her database, and from there it is redirected to a participating company which supplies you with a link to whatever it is you want to see. So I don't know what the uniqueness is of going into a bookstore, buying a book that has a specific code in it that you use your smartphone to click to take a picture of it, that will then allow you to see on your smartphone either a video, an audio file, or whatever, instead of just going onto the internet and saving all this time. For example, you've got to go to the bookstore, you've got to browse, the book is going to cost you money, then you've got your airtime or your online time for your smartphone. You're going to have to use a computer anyway, so why not just go online and do a Google search? Am I missing something here? No, wait a minute, that's a simplistic way of doing it. I understand. Thanks, Craig. Once again, her website is smartsite.com. I see nothing unique in it. I really don't. It may work in Japan, but just because it works in Japan doesn't mean it's going to work over here in North America now, does it? But that's another show. Exonation, I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue live and around the world from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. All right, here's our contact information. If you'd like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. You can always give us a call by calling our toll-free number 1-800-610-7035. And our websites, www.xzoneradiotv.com. And of course, X-Zone TV, where you can watch and listen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year at www.xzonetv.com. Speaking about TV, Paragators is coming, don't forget, and so is something else exciting that we're working on, and hopefully within the next couple of weeks I'll be able to bring you some startling information. And if you've heard rumors that the X-Zone may be returning to Niagara, maybe you're onto something there. We'll be back. Don't go away.